Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another champion reveal video. We do these every single time because I enjoy them and I'm usually quite accurate with like how I think about them. Are they going to be overpowered? Are they going to be healthy for the game? And the reason why I'm kind of smiling at the moment is I'm going to be honest, this video it's really tight, me doing this, but I'm going to do it because I know you guys enjoy them. But just to kind of say, I'm leaving for the airport in about 8 hours, but that hasn't included, I haven't slept yet at all. So I'm going to record this, going to edit it, upload it, everything, and basically all the videos that while I'm gone, they're already uploaded on the channel, but I'm just going to push back all the second videos of the day, one day, to make room for this one coming out tonight. Because obviously this is a pretty big thing, a new champion. So, it's Nunu Rework. It's pretty cool. Again, what I would like to see, and I did watch the teaser trailer, and it does seem that it is going to be that way. I just hope there are more to the champion, because Nunu has zero mechanics. He's a pure decision-making champion, which is, there's nothing purely wrong with that, but I'd like a little bit more mechanics. Maybe a skill shot or two, not all point-and-click. Like, I think League of Legends is actually moving away from point-and-click abilities, because they're really basic. So let's get into it. So, Nunu and Willump, the boy and his Yeti. They'll be the greatest heroes ever one day, after Nunu discovered the fearsome monster of legend was just waiting for a good snowball fight. He and Willump became the best of friends. Now they roam from one adventure to the next, their imagination running wild, and their wintry magic making it real, unaware that they play with the power to save the Freljord. Interesting. Alright, so abilities, passive. Again, over here on the right, and we'll watch the video. Call of the Freljord. Damaging enemy champions, large monsters, or structures increases the attack and movement speed of Willump, a nearby ally, and a nearby ally, one, for a few seconds, prioritizing the ally with the highest attack speed, therefore the AD carry. While Willump hears the call of the Freljord, his basic attacks cleave the immediate area for a portion of damage. Basically making it so he can be a jungler from what I can tell, and when he groups, he actually benefits his AD carry, who likely has the most attack speed, giving them more attack speed and movement speed, it seems. So basically his old Blood Boil is like now part of his passive, with also AoE cleave for the jungle. Interesting. So let's have a look. So he's damaged, there's a cleave, there's another cleave, so it does continue for as long as you actually damage. And then that buffs Ashe, which you can visibly see. She's all blue around her hands now. Okay, cool, interesting. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Let's move on to the Q, which again, this is the exact same name. It used to be called Consume. Let's see how different it is. Willump takes a bite out of an enemy, dealing true damage to monsters and minions or magic damage to champions, and heals himself. The heal is increased significantly when Nunu and Willump are low health. So, this is how they've changed it. It is no longer just a cast on minions or jungle monsters. You can, in fact, use it on enemy champions. And if you use it on enemy champions, it doesn't do true damage. It does magic damage, and it gives yourself a heal. I don't know if it gives yourself a heal if you're doing it on jungle, but I guess we'll see now. So, it does. Okay, wow, that was a lot. Again, we can't say if it's a lot or not, I guess, because we don't know the scaling. But yeah, that's going to help him. I like to see that it's not just a specifically, you know, this is only for minions and monsters. I don't think abilities should be like that, because it makes it kind of boring. Hey, you're in the middle of a team fight. Well, you don't have a Q anymore, really, do you? So this opens him up a little bit more, makes him more useful than the current, like the old version, in my opinion. So that's pretty cool. And again, just to mention, in the comment section, let me know what you also think about his champion design, not just the abilities, because I think his champion design is really cool. Like, you can tell it's kind of like Zoe-centric, that it's a bit kiddie and stuff, but again, the first thing I said when I saw the teaser trailer, I was like, oh my god, it's the guy from Monsters Inc., Sully and Boo from Monsters Inc. If there's not a Halloween, like, you know, the Gnar skin that he's dressed up, if there's not one that is similar to that, I demand we riot. Anyway, let's go to W. Biggest snowball ever. Willump starts rolling a snowball that grows in size and speed. Crashing the snowball into a wall, enemy champions or a large monster damages and knocks up nearby enemies. Reactivating the ability sends the snowball forward in a straight line, damaging and knocking up minions in addition to champions and monsters. The damage and duration of the knockup increases with the size of the snowball. So this, again, is reminiscent of Aurelion Sol's Q when you're flying and stuff, so you increase the stun range and like how big it actually is. So it's probably reminiscent of that, maybe mixed in with Kled Ultimate. And again, this is how I learn new champions. I put like how are they similar to other champions, and then I can learn the champion a lot quicker. All right, let's see. So casts it. It's a little one. He's getting quicker. It also looks like Nunu's getting bigger, or that just might be me. Massive snowball. It's going to hit into them. Boom. Knocks both of them up. Does a decent amount of damage. And again, what they don't show, which again is a bit weird, if you recast that ability as you're rolling it, you actually throw the snowball forward. So you don't exactly have to go into the middle of a team fight. I think you get more benefits if you do. But it's riskier, obviously. And again, yeah, it's a mixture of Kled Ultimate and Aurelion Soul Q. Potentially you can, like, yeah, you can move a little bit by the looks of it, so you can change, but obviously it's going to be a slow turning ratio. But that it's a very good engaging tool, but you could say, you know, it's not that quick. So potentially you might need a Righteous Glory alongside that if it does actually affect it and speeds you up while you're rolling a snowball. That could be a nice little combo there. Let's move on to the E. Snowball Barrage. Nunu rapidly flings up to 3 volleys of snowballs for a few seconds, damaging champions and monsters and marking them snowbound. Enemies hit by all 3 snowballs in a volley are briefly slowed. When Snowball Barrage ends, all snowbound enemies near Nunu and Willop are briefly rooted. So he marks people with his snowballs, and when it ends, the barrage, it will root anybody, I guess chills them is the idea, when it ends. So let's have a look. So that is that. The indicator up here is saying that's like them being snowed or whatever. And I believe they have to be within this circle, otherwise they won't get rooted. So they're all within that circle, so they all get rooted because they all will affected by the snowball. If you get affected by a snowball, but you get away from Nunu, you won't get rooted. Is from my understanding. But again, it seems interesting. It seems it's a skill shot, not a, you know, point and click. So that gives Nunu a bit more skill involved. It's not going to be so straightforwardly basic. So honestly, I'm liking a lot what I see here. I will say, though, it does seem, because again, you could argue that Nunu mechanically was one of the weakest mechanically champions in the game. Again, like I said earlier, he was a decision-making champion. So, sure, I think this guy will still have decision-making, but his mechanics are going to go significantly up. So if you're a Nunu one-trick or main, this, again, goes to the point that I've said before, is if you're a Nunu person, you got Diamond playing Nunu, and you only play Nunu, this rework potentially screws you completely. Because the reason you got Diamond was Nunu decision-making, well, now you need mechanics. So I'm just saying, like, some people might be in a bit of trouble. And Absolute Zero is staying. Nunu and Willop sap heat from the area around them, gaining a shield and increasingly snowing enemies as they channel. Enemies still in the freezing zone when it reaches Absolute Zero take massive damage, increased based on the length of the channel. Absolute Zero can be cancelled early, and channeling from a bush or fog won't reveal. So it's the same as it used to be. Literally, it's basically the same ability. So they press R, it's obviously brand new updated graphics, and boom. So Lissandra got out, Trundle didn't. You guys know Absolute Zero, but it just looks a lot better. And it does actually seem a lot of the magic is actually coming from Nunu himself, not Willump. So that's kind of cool. But there we go. First impressions, I like it. It just seems like, you know, it sounds basic, but if Nunu as a champion never existed, but the idea of a Yeti with a little boy on his back, like with magic, was a thing, this is what they would release. But it's just the fact that it was an old version getting reworked. I like it. Again, I've been playing League since the beginning, and Nunu has basically been here since the beginning, so it's kind of nice to see a little bit of a fresh paint on stuff like this. So that's cool. Playing as Nunu and Willump, Nunu and Willop traverse the wilderness in a flurry of snowy magic and Yeti fur, locking down objectives and keeping watch for fellow adventurers. Make quick meals of jungle monsters with Consume after crashing into the camp with the biggest snowball ever. So they are actually saying you do use that while jungle clearing. Keep on rolling as you roam between lanes, pelting the bad guys with a snowball barrage to slow them down so Willop can have his turn, you know, auto-attacking them and stuff. Once they're nothing but slash, follow the call of the Freljord to take Yeti-sized chunks out of the nearest tower. So it does also affect towers. I think it said structures. Did it say structures, your passive? Yeah, enemy champions large monsters or structures. So you're actually a very good tower taker by the looks of it as well. So that's great. If you're ready for the best snowball fight of all time, combine a Frosty Snowball Barrage with your ult for an avalanche of disruption. Absolute Zero creates an icy no man's land. No foe can cross, protecting friendly folk by zoning the not-so-friendlies. When the snow finally settles, take a final chomp with the consume to slay the beast, blah, blah, blah. So what they're saying is the great combo is if you snowball barrage people to then, like, get the root effect on them, if they're within your circle, they get rooted. Or if you snowball barrage and then ultimate zero, then you're actually slowing, or absolute zero, then you're slowing them with absolute zero, so then they can't escape the snowball barrage ring, so then they get rooted, and then they get the full duration of the absolute zero. That's, yeah, it's a pretty cool combo. So he's walking into lane with a Kai'Sa. You're looking for a gank here. Snowball's coming in. He's just going to keep on walking, hits the Brom. He has Ice Barrage both of them. He goes close enough to the Xayah to get the root. He's still on running. He gets chomped by the Nunu, that was. He's now going under the tower. I'd be surprised if he doesn't... He chomps again. 2 chomps, and he gets 2 kills. Next team fight, so he's walking in the enemy base. Nara's trying to escape. He's really turning as much... That's amazing. So you can turn like that. There's the... He just threw it, in which you can let it go and let it just kind of go on its own. He's coming for a gank, so this is an interesting gank path. Goes behind them. Snowball Barrage. Then the Brom doesn't get rooted because he gets out of the circle. He's now getting close enough. There's Absolute Zero getting channeled. Xayah takes some damage. He cancels that early. He is potentially not going to chase. Alistair's going to chase. He's just going to hit the Rammus a little bit, but there we go. Wow. Yeah, like I really like his the snowball. Like, again, when I saw that, I thought that might be in his ult. But no, it's just a normal ability, I guess. I'll bring the snowballs. You bring the fights. Tips and tricks. Stick around after ganking to take a early objective. Call of the Frailjawed. Willop and another ally will both get the attack speed boost, so be sure to wail on the tower. So they're saying, you know, gank bot early and then take the tower, or gank bot early, go take the dragon, because your AD carry actually does increase the attack speed, so it's very good in the early game. Ganking with the biggest snowball ever is a cool move, but once you get the hang of handling, it's also the fastest way through the jungle. With practice, you can round corners without slowing down and crash into camp. So they're saying, let's say you're clear, you're starting, what was it, blue side, you start red buff, and then you straight away want to go to your wolves. Well, they're saying when you become pretty good with the snowball movement, you can go from red buff to wolves with the biggest snowball ever, just navigating through and not hitting any of those walls, thus getting very fast clear in the jungle. And then finally, try channeling Absolute Zero right after Snowball Barrage. Okay, so that's the exact combo that I said they're making Nunu about. Landing Snowball Barrage to then get people rooted if they remain in the circle, but then before they get rooted, cast Absolute Zero to slow them, so they can't really escape. So honestly, pretty damn cool. So that's his normal splash art. That is Demolition Nunu, I think it's called. This is... Oh, there it is. Okay, I did say it, didn't I? That basically is Monsters Inc., in my opinion. Like, that's probably as close as we're going to get to Monsters Inc. Nunu as we probably can. I don't know what skin that is, though. Huh. I don't know what it's called. Again, I don't really know a lot of the names of Nunu skins, but yeah, that's legit. This one is... Wait, is that Nunu Bot? Oh my god, they've changed Nunu Bot completely. Is that Scion? That one, oh wow, that is, God, that looks like the guy from Labyrinth. You guys know who I'm on about, right? The guy that looks like that exactly from Labyrinth, the movie with David Bowie. That's, wow, that's uncanny. They haven't changed that because they don't do those. I guess that's a winter skin, that he looks like a big Poro, sure. And then finally... they haven't changed this one. This is Zombie Nunu, but wow. Honestly, I think this is, for me, again, I don't want to overreact, but as for first impressions, I could see this as being a big success. You're taking a very old champion with very basic mechanics with on-hit effect, with a Q that you don't really use in team fights on enemy champions, and you're bringing him to 2018. You're bringing him to modern League of Legends. So I will say I love it. I do feel a bit concerned, not for me, because... he looks cool. I feel a bit concerned for people that may rely on the old Nunu only, because it's similar, which is good. And I definitely, like a lot of people say with reworks, you know, people dislike the Aatrox rework because they changed the identity to the champion. He was an on-hit attack, auto-attacking based champion, and they made him into a spellcaster AD, basically. They took away the identity. Akali seems to be a successful rework. Warwick was a successful rework because they're just updating what the champion was. It's very similar. This seems to be in that category. It's very similar. It's going to do the same job, but probably better, and it's going to be harder to play, which I don't think is a bad thing. And it modernizes it. It looks better. The design's amazing. The abilities kind of fit with League. And this is my example of a great champion, comparing this to Zoe, who shouldn't exist. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about the new Nunu and Willump? Let's not forget about the Yeti, because he is part of the kit. I would actually like if they actually had his full name when you pick the champion Nunu and Willump, because so many people thought, and I probably do, that they probably think Nunu is the Yeti. No, Willump is the Yeti. Nunu is the little boy that is the magic person. That again is very kind of reminiscent in a weird way of like Talia. It's like a kind of an ice version of Talia, because his barrage is kind of like Talia's Q a little bit in the way that it looks. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know all the stuff down below. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you a Nunu player? Are you excited? And again, my recommendation whenever this stuff happens is head on over to whatever champion's subreddit is getting changed and see how they're reacting. A lot of the time it's quite funny. So my advice is go onto the Nunu mains subreddit. They'll definitely have one. And, you know, see if they're panicked, see if they're happy. Again, if they're happy, it's a good sign. But that's going to be it. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. See ya.